Hey everyone, it's Katie from the Wellington County Museum and Archives coming to you with our month's final Museum at Your Doorstep instruction video. This week we are making crystal gardens. So this is a really fun science experiment that takes a little bit of patience. So let's get going to make our lovely crystal gardens. Okay everyone, let's make our crystal gardens. So you will need a few things to help you out to make this science experiment. Of course, you need your Epsom salt. You need a jar, some water. The food coloring is completely optional. If you want to snazz it up a little bit, give your crystal garden some color, and then something to mix everything together. So this is like a science experiment. So have a little bit of fun with it when you're making your crystal garden. When you do get down to business, you want a 2-to-1 ratio of your Epsom salt and your water, which means if you use the full half cup of Epsom salt as provided, you are going to use 1/4 cup of water. So this is what I have found has worked best to make your crystal garden. First things first, I'm going to dump the entirety of the half a cup of Epsom salt into my jar. Some of you may have smaller jars than I have. That's totally fine. If you spill a little bit, that's okay as well. With those of you who do have smaller jars, you may get a little bit nervous now that you've poured half of your the half cup of Epsom salt inside of the jar, because it's going to fill up most of the jar. That is okay, because your water will dissolve some of that Epsom salt, so do not worry if it is seeming a little bit too full. So I have poured half a cup of Epsom salt into my jar, which means that I need 1/4 cup of water. Now the water that you pour into your crystal garden, you want it to be hot, not boiling, but hot enough that it dissolves some of your Epsom salt. Of course, it's not going to dissolve all of it, but that's okay. But you want it to be warm enough that it dissolves some of it. So I'm going to dump in my 1/4 cup of warm water. Now I'm going to add some of my color now. I'm going to put about 5 little drops of color, just to snazz it up just a little bit. And now that I have my color, my Epsom salt and water, I'm going to mix it all together with a spoon, popsicle stick, whatever is available to you. Now again, your Epsom salt is not going to completely dissolve. This is okay. You will have some sediment on the bottom of your jar. We're just trying to mix as much of the Epsom salt into the water as we can, and to make sure that that food coloring gets all over that water so that our lovely crystal garden at the end of this experiment looks really cool. Once you feel comfortable with the amount of Epsom salt that has been dissolved, maybe 30 seconds or so, you're going to immediately put your jar into the fridge. Don't put the lid on, just leave it completely open like this. This is where your science experiment gets really exciting, because over the course of a few days, you can see how your crystals are going to grow in your jar. You'll need a little bit of patience, but the patience definitely pays off, because I made a crystal garden on Friday, and this is what was made. So I made this Friday afternoon, left it in the fridge at the museum through Saturday and Sunday, and this is what it has turned into. So we can see a couple different crystals inside of this garden. Some of it has actually climbed up the jar, which I think is pretty cool. We have some tree looking ones, some log looking crystals. So this was in the fridge for about 2.5 days. So this took a lot of patience because I really wanted to look at it, but it definitely paid off. Now, when you take your crystal garden out after 2 days, or maybe a little bit shorter or longer, you may notice that there may be a little bit of extra water on top of your garden. Just dump that out into the sink, and that will be fine. A few of the crystals may fall out, which is a little unfortunate, but that is okay because look at the finished product. So this is really cool, a really fun science experiment. Have some fun with it. Choose some fun colors that you want your crystals to look like, and we'll see you in the next video. And that's it. So it takes a little bit of patience, but it's well worth the wait. Thank you for participating in this week's Museum at Your Doorstep workshop. We're going to have lots of other virtual program available in the near future, so stay tuned for that. You can always visit us at wellington.ca/museum for all our future virtual programming, and we'll see you in the next video.